we'll get straight into Friday night football, and this is an exciting game now for Luton fans and just Premier League fans in general to see Luton Town at home for the first time this season. They're home to West Ham. Luton Town are 4.9 in the win market. West Ham 1.83. The draw is available at 3.95. Both teams to score, yes. Favoured in that market at 1.87. The Asian handicap line sees Luton get the 3/4 of a goal head start. Quite a big start there at 1.89. And the goal line for this game is 2.5. That's pretty much 50-50, ever so slightly shaded towards the over. So, look, Adrian, I'll let you kick us off this week in terms of Luton. And you obviously watched a lot of them in the Championship last season. For those that probably haven't had a chance to watch their games, for the first two games, where are Luton? What type of team are they? And do they have a chance at home to West Ham?
Well, they're very direct. Yeah, so they'll knock the ball long for fun, and they use their wing backs very, very well. Ryan Giles and the guy they got on loan from Manchester City as well, Kabore. They will get a lot of the ball, and they'll put crosses into the box for Carlton Morris and one of the other strikers to attack. So, but they've played okay. They've been creditable, I would say, in two really tough games so far. Obviously, Brighton away and Chelsea away isn't easy, but they've been on the wrong end of some hidings so far. They've faced 23 shots per game, which is the highest average across the Premier League. So yeah, they do need to tighten up a little bit, but I do expect the stats and performance levels to be different at Kenilworth Road. It's a pretty unique place, and Premier League teams, some of them might rock up there and not fancy it, and I think that's going to be a big advantage for Luton Town. We don't know how West Ham will be when they go there, but I don't expect them to get an easy ride. It's one of those, I think, based on what we've seen so far, you've got to fancy West Ham because their performance levels have been excellent, surprisingly good. Very, very impressed with them across the first three matches. So you want to be on side with them, but it's the opening night under the lights at Kenilworth Road. It's going to be a febrile atmosphere, so it puts me off. I've got to be honest. Another reason to maybe get on side with West Ham is that Luton actually, and this is a surprising stat, weren't particularly strong at home against the best teams in the Championship last year. Actually, not just at home, home and away. So in 18 matches against the top 8 last season, they won 3, Luton Town, which is a really surprising stat considering they now find themselves in the Premier League. So there's quite a bit that would put me off of Luton here, but again, it's that first night excitement that makes me think they've got a chance here, and it makes me feel like they've got a chance of scoring a goal as well, because they are going to put West Ham United under pressure for certain periods of this match. I was also looking at unders because Kenilworth Road was very low scoring last season in the Championship. It averaged only just over 2 goals per game. It was, I think, the lowest in the Championship. So they're not used to sort of seeing 3-2 thrillers there week in, week out. But having seen them defend in the early weeks, seen them struggle against top flight forwards, I can't back them to keep a clean sheet here, Luton. But I do think, with the atmosphere, with the mood, with the party vibe, that they can cause problems and they can score at least 1 goal. So I've landed on both teams to score, which actually has been a really good bet so far in the Premier League this season. It's currently coming up trumps 59% of the time. So that's pretty positive. And I would hazard a guess that at Kenilworth Road this time around, both teams will score.
Okay, we're landing on both teams to score there. I think it's been clipped in a bit on Matchbook, but currently around the 188 mark. I'll get producer Ryan to confirm that. Mark O'Haire, you've actually landed on the same bet, but a little bit on West Ham. And look, the start of the season, we weren't really keen on them in the Outright podcast. They hadn't made any signings to replace Declan Rice at that point. But is there an argument that Mark Noble has done as good a job as a director of football as anyone in the Premier League based on that last week and 10 days of signings?
Yeah, possibly. I don't want to judge them too soon, but I've been impressed by the business that they have done. I think possibly in the summer, I thought West Ham are a kind of club I don't want to trust with £100 million because, in the past sort of 5 years or so, they've not often spent money too well. But certainly the signing of Ward-Prowse has made an immediate impact. Alvarez is a player I really like, just quite a gnarly kind of guy who won't allow them to be bullied in that central midfield area. You can also slot in at centre half, of course, and Kudus is an incredible acquisition, really. I'm not sure how he fits into this West Ham team or how David Moyes plans to get the best out of him, but certainly he is a difference maker, and he could be the real sort of the standout quality for West Ham this season if he gets given that license to roam and freedom to show us what he's capable of. So I'm being fairly warm on West Ham. I'm not quite as sold as Adrian has been across the first 3 games. I thought they were the better team against Bournemouth, but David Moyes' pragmatism probably played against them in that sense. Then against Chelsea, I thought they were actually second best for the most part, and I thought the win was slightly kind on West Ham. But last week, full credit to them. They absolutely moised Brighton, didn't they? 20% of the ball, played on the counter-attack, bullied them in areas that they knew they could get the best. And Bowen and Michail Antonio have been kind of combining and dovetailing brilliantly. Just that energy in the press, kind of carrying the counter as well. And I think at times last year, West Ham did look quite laboured because of the amount of matches that they played. But at the minute, they look really fresh and really dangerous too. So they'll fancy their chances. But like Adrian says, it's hard to put a number on it, but you have to give Luton a couple of extra percentage points because of the fact that this is a Friday night under the lights, first game at the Kenny, which is a boisterous place at the best of times. I'm not going to say it's going to be intimidating for West Ham, but it won't be far off it. They do get right up in your face and they do give it to you as well. And I think, Luton will not be judged this season on away trips to Brighton and Chelsea, where they concede 20 shots on target and manage just 3 themselves, one of which is a penalty. They will be judged in home games against teams outside of the Big Seven. This is an opportunity for Luton. If they want to survive in the Premier League, they have to start picking up points in these kind of games. And I do think there is an opportunity for them to put something together here. My issue with Luton at the minute is, as Adrian says, they are quite direct and they do utilise those wing-backs enormously. There's not a lot else at the minute, and I need to see more from the central midfield options, and that's a concern, especially against a team like West Ham, who physically, I can't see them getting bullied like some teams possibly will be. Aguirre is back from suspension, which is a big plus, as I say, with Alvarez now there in holding midfield too. They're a big team, and they could negate Luton's threats in that sense. However, West Ham, in this kind of position, going away to bottom half dwellers where you expect them to be picking up points. They've not been doing that under David Moyes. Go back to the start of last season. They've now played 10 games against teams who finished in the bottom 10 last season, including Bournemouth this year. They've won just once in those 10. They've lost 6 of them and managed 1 clean sheet, which isn't good enough for West Ham. And that would be a big concern about backing them at odds-on prices. They have conceded in all 3 games so far. They have only kept 3 clean sheets in 20 away trips, going back to the beginning of last season too. So, yeah, I do give Luton an extra edge here. I think they can score, but ultimately West Ham do have a huge amount of attacking personnel who can create it and sort of cause concern in that Luton defence too. So, yeah, I agree with Adrian. Both teams to score.
Okay, both teams to score. We've got confirmation 187 currently on the Matchable Betting Exchange. It'll be interesting what that price will be come kick off once the team news come in. So do check out that